Alright folks, welcome back to the channel. So here's the first question. Why does anyone want to work at a university in South Korea? Well, I'll tell you what, money is not the number one bonus here. The biggest thing about working at a university in South Korea is the fact that your vacation time is absolutely phenomenal, okay? In my current university job right now in South Korea, I'm getting 5 months paid vacation a year. Not only am I getting 5 months paid vacation, I'm only working 4 days a week, okay? So I get every Monday off, which gives me a long weekend. Now that's a big problem for me, because if I ever want to come back to the UK to work, I am going to have a huge problem adapting back to a 5-day week. And I don't think I'm going to find 5 months paid vacation anywhere soon. So in the last video, I left you at the end of the public school. I was at the top of the ladder as far as payment was concerned in the public school, but I needed to challenge myself with something new, right? I got my master's degree in teaching and I had a business degree. The only thing that I didn't have was experience teaching at a university in South Korea. So I had to apply to what many others do if they don't have much experience, a university in the countryside. Now, I was lucky enough to get an interview at this place, and I thought to myself, Paul, you cannot lose this opportunity. You cannot miss it. This is your chance to get into the university system. I'm so desperate to get into a university job. Well, because I needed experience, right? If I can get experience to back up my qualifications and my skill, then I'm going to be in a really strong position moving forward. All right, let's fast forward. Interview day. This university is 2 hours from my home, okay? So I'm taking a bit of a gamble here, but hey, I've got nothing to lose. I need to get a job and I need to work in a university. So I drove in and I was just hit with just pure shock. I was like, oh my goodness, Paul, what is this? It was so cool. If you can remember back to your first day at university when you're the student, right? And you see all the buildings and you see all the students and you see everything, and it's such a cool vibe. But the difference was I was the other side of the table now. I'm not the student anymore, I'm the professor. So it felt really weird, you know. Can I teach university students in South Korea? Can I do it? Well, I'm not sure, because I never did it before. I arrived for the interview, and just before I went into the building, I started to get cold feet. And I was thinking to myself, Paul, can you do this? You know, it's pretty scary. Can you actually go in here? And I'm like, I've got nothing to lose. This is my dream here in Korea, to get a university job. Just go in, face your fear, head on, and do it. And that's what I did. And luckily for me, I got the job. Now, when you walk into these Korean interviews for university positions, you will probably be met with 2 rooms. The first room that you go to is where you hand all your documents, right? Your degree, your master's degree, your criminal record check, all of these things they'll take off you and they'll photocopy it and keep it for their records. In this room is also full of all the, you know, interviewees, all the other foreign professors. Now, I never knew this, but there was 4 people on the panel, all professors of the Korean university interviewing the foreigners. But actually they were interviewing 3 foreign professors at the same time. So I had to make a quick decision. Am I going to sit at the first chair, the second chair, the third chair? And I decided to sit at the far right, because I thought that would be the first one that they're going to ask the questions to. And luckily for me, I was right. Why are you sitting in the first chair, Paul? Well, I'm pretty confident in my own ability. I'm pretty confident in answering any question. And so I thought to myself, if I can answer the question first and make a lasting impression, it's going to be really hard for person number 2 and person number 3 to say something different and as good as me. And it turned out that was the case, because I got the job and they didn't. So that's it, folks. I finally got the job. I was so happy, but the biggest problem was, of course, the commute. 2 hours there, 2 hours back. So it's going to be a challenge. Let's fast forward to the first semester, okay? Now, your contract is 1 year. At the end of the first semester, I had got through my first semester of teaching at a university. I was working 4 days a week. I was traveling 2 hours down and 2 hours back. I had managed to pick up some bad habits, however. I was starting to drink lots of energy drinks because I was getting really tired. I was almost falling asleep at the wheel coming back. So it was kind of like a health risk as well, right? It's danger. I had to do a summer and a winter kind of intensive English program. It was not optional. And this was something that I didn't like about this university. Basically because you were teaching elementary school kids. Now, I didn't want to teach elementary school kids anymore in the summer or winter because I'd already done it. I had no choice, so I had to do it. and that was for 4 weeks. So overall I got about 2 months paid vacation that year, which was still fantastic compared to what I was getting at the public school. But the biggest problem was I was getting about $500 less a month. But as I say, I needed to get that 1 year of university teaching experience because that was going to pay off in the long run. In the second semester, I managed to negotiate a 3-day contract, which means I was working only 3 days a week. I explained to the faculty that I was having problems, the management. I needed to somehow, if they could, condense my classes into only 3 days, and lo and behold, they did it. So I was really, really grateful, and I was very surprised. So that was really cool. Now, in November, December of that year, I was asked if I wanted to renew the contract. I actually said no. Okay, now that was a bit of a risk for me to say no, because that means I, at that point, had nothing secured for the next year. But I was confident in my own ability with this 1 year experience that I could then go and get another, possibly better university position closer to Seoul and closer to home. It was a culture shock for me teaching adults as opposed to teaching kids. In my very first day teaching at that university, I was teaching a class of undergraduate nursing students, and when I walked in the room, they all stood up and gave me a round of applause. So I was like, wow, is this what it's like to teach at university? You know? Now I am in a predicament. Let's go back to the end of the year. I actually applied for a number of university positions. I got 2 interviews and I got them both. Okay, so luckily for me, my confidence paid off in myself. One of the jobs that I got was on the east coast of South Korea, and it was really, really cool. When I drove up in my car, it had its own runway, and this place was basically teaching trainee pilots. I was persuaded by that. I was kind of like, I'm going to go here. But again, it was too far from home, so I was going to have to move away from my family home and then come back at the weekends. So not ideal. The other job that I went for, actually, my wife persuaded me to go. I wasn't going to go. I was just going to go for interview experience, but I got the job. This is the place that I'm still at today. And they asked me in the interview, Paul, why have you only got 1 year teaching experience? Why did you quit after 1 year? And I was like, told the truth. The commute was too much. It was 2 hours down, 2 hours back. I couldn't do it anymore. That's why I've only 1 year of experience. And so I got this job. This university I'm in right now pays fantastically well, a lot more than my previous uni. I work 4 days a week, and in my last year I was off for 5 months paid. So I've got absolutely no complaints, folks. I'm teaching subjects like OPIC, business English, TOEIC speaking, conversation, presentation, current events. Okay, so I'm learning a number of things. If I do have to do a winter or summer camp, I can only choose one of them, and I'm teaching university students, not children. So for me, it's a lot better. In 2023, I managed to get the Outstanding Professor of the Year award, which was the very first time that a foreigner won it in my university since the department opened in 27 years. So I was pretty proud of that achievement. And yeah, I'm still there today, so I'm really enjoying myself at this current uni. I'm not yet at the top of the ladder. I'm not at the top of the tree. Am I going to stay in this university for years to come? Well, possibly yes. I've got no complaints at this moment in time, but there always comes a moment when you want a new challenge, right? Previously, the most time that I spent at a job was 4 years at the same school, which was the public school. And now, currently, I'm on my 7th year at this university. So if we look at all my credentials now today, I've got 8 years of university teaching experience. I've got 6 years in the public school. I've got a number of years teaching privately as well, and 1 year in the English Academy system. So I'm doing pretty well. I see myself as more of a coach than a teacher. My goal in life was never to be a teacher. It was never to be a professor. There's other things that you can do in Korea. You can actually start your own school and make a whole bunch of money. But to be honest, folks, I've got no interest in doing that. I am much happier working at a university where I'm guaranteed income, where I get paid for 5 months vacation a year. Last year, for example, I went home to the UK for 1 month, just before my father passed, and I spent a number of weeks in Vietnam as well last year with my family. So it gives me a whole bunch of time with my family as well. I'm never stressed. I don't live a life full of stress. When I leave the university, I switch off, and when I go back in, I switch on. So it's a job that really is yeah, it works for me and my lifestyle. I am now a father, okay? I'm a father with 2 children. I cannot take the same chances as I did before. I used to gamble a lot as far as teaching positions, as far as jobs, as far as countries. I would take a lot of chances. But now that I'm a father with 2 kids, I have a family to support and provide for, right? So it's very important for me to be in a good job, a stable job that is secure as well. And it's also very important for me to get that work-life balance. That is number 1 in my life. If you have any questions, okay, if you're in the process of coming to South Korea, or if you want to try and get a university teaching position, feel free to leave a comment or a question below and I'll try to help you. So that's it, folks. That's the end of my story today. I hope you learned something from these 3 videos. Hopefully it gives you some confidence that, you know, if I can achieve it, and now you've seen the way that I did it in my journey, then you can too. Right? Of course, if you have a master's degree, you could probably come straight to Korea and start off in the university, maybe in a country side university. All right, thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you next time. Take care. See you later. Goodbye.